What's up, guys? Ron Harris here, and judging just wrapped up in Toronto, Canada for the Toronto Pro Super Show Open Men, which was the final division. Want to take a look at it with you. This is the first time I'm watching it. I like to wait until I'm watching it live with you guys to react to it, even though this ended a few minutes ago. So let me show you where I'm getting this from. This is not the stream. This is our good friend Aretha Luz in Brazil. She does commentary in Portuguese for all these divisions. So here was the initial group walking out. We got Aaron Gowley from Canada, big dude there. Next up, the heavy favorite Regan Grimes, Sasan Heirati. Next to him is Eric Janicki, social media phenom, now legit IFBB pro, making his pro debut in Hossein Kalete from Canada. Very thick guy, Iranian man there on the right, shorter guy. Gives me some Hadi Chupan vibes. First impression, I know this isn't the highest resolution footage. This isn't Gilco footage, but immediately your eyes are drawn to Regan and to Sasan. The most complete physiques up there. Janicki, I want to say, he's holding his own. Some of these guys who have the massive social media followings like Larry Wheels and Sam Sulek, I don't think they're quite ready to jump into a pro show. They're both in classic and make much of an impact. But Eric, he's right there right away. I don't believe this is actually first call out. This is just the first group, and it just so happened that there's a lot of top men in that first group. They're just going by numerical order here. This is not the first call out. Make sure I'm showing the right screen. Yeah. Great work again, Ron. Why is Regan coming to do so many shows? So why did Regan do this show? He's originally he lives in Vegas, but he still maintains, I believe, he still has a home in Toronto area. He's from Canada. He's from the Toronto area. A lot of fans would be very upset if he didn't do this show. And, why wouldn't he want to do a show where he could have literally a busload of fans, friends, relatives, supporters cheering him on? So I totally get why he did this show. Just like people were kind of giving Tony O'Burton crap. Why did he do the Legion Sports Fest? Why didn't he pick a harder show? Well, he actually lives in Reno. He told me it was a 20-minute drive from where he lives to get to the venue to compete. Why wouldn't you do that? So this is just the initial groups. So we're looking now at the rest of the guys. Adam Millage, Andrea Mozzi from Italy, Felix Norman, and Skylar Schum there on the right, making his pro debut. It's a small group. This is only 9 men in the open class. They did not get a huge turnout. There's Aretha on the right, beautiful young woman. Just so you know, because I'm not taking this from the stream, and if you're wondering why it's in a box like this, I'm not capturing the stream. That would not be legal, actually, technically. So I didn't do that. So that's where the judges get their initial look at everybody. They just come out and do some quarter turns, hit a couple shots. Now they're all going to come out one at a time, and we can critique them individually. This is Canada's Aaron Gowley, big dude. He's about 270 or so, 275, something like that. Regan's tan is much too light. I don't know if Wooston Fuchs, if he's ever going to get this tan right. It's starting to make me wonder, is he ever going to show up with a nice, rich brown hue, or is he always going to be kind of yellowish orange tint? Don't know. Your mom's flip-flop. The best health-wise status lean week. Well, your mom's flip-flop. It's not like he competed 6 weeks ago and he's doing it all over again. Like some of the guys who did the Arnold and then they did Pittsburgh and the New York Pro. That was a long time to be on prep and on all the gear and everything. But Regan just won this other show. Cali Pro was 2 weeks ago, right? Am I getting these mixed up? I have to look at my calendar because I'm getting mixed up. So which show was first? Yeah, last weekend was Legion, Antonio. So 2 weeks ago, Regan competed. So he's only been on prep and on the gear for two more. It's only 2 additional weeks. I'm sure he'll take a little health phase after this. I assume he's going to Olympia. So he'll take his health phase, take some time off the gear, and then, start back on his prep. So next up here, we have Regan Grimes. I don't know if I can make this any bigger on the screen. Let me see if I can. No, I cannot. I cannot zoom in any more than that. So it will get closer as we get to the callouts. I assume Aretha's doing this. She did that so she's not showing it full screen, which would be a big red flag, and YouTube would shut her down. But Regan looks really good. From what I could see, he held his condition. Of course, until I see the high resolution footage, I don't make any real statements on the condition because everybody looks kind of the same, kind of washed out in this this lower resolution stream. Goldfishers, they have to commit to doing the show a few months before the show. If they decide not to, the show can be funded. The Goldfish, I don't think that's the case anymore. That was the case for many, many years. In fact, in the old days, back in the day, at the very beginning of the season in January, they were required, the athletes, to sign contracts for any competitions that they intended on competing in that calendar year. And they had to honor that commitment, or else, as you say, they were suspended sometimes, they were fined thousands of dollars, financial penalties, if they did not show up, unless they had a valid medical excuse for the doctor signing off on it. These days, you see guys jumping into shows at the very last minute. They have actually up until Tuesday of that week. Sassan Heirati up there now. So Sassan has had quite a season. This is his 5th show of the season. He's taken 2nd place, runner-up at 3 of those 4 outings so far. First show we saw Sasan was Detroit Pro, where he took 2nd to Bonac. Then he went on to, let's see, I might get the order wrong. FIBO, I believe, was next, where he took 2nd to Andrew Jacked. New York Pro, he was 5th. That was a tougher show. He took 2nd at the Cali Pro to Regan. Did I miss any? That's 3. Yeah, so he took 3 runner-ups and a 5th place so far. Now, normally, the point system, when it was in place not that long ago, would have pretty much guaranteed Sasan his ticket to Olympia, especially if he nabbed 2nd place today, which is very, very likely. I did skim ahead and I saw the final call out was just Regan and Sass, which tells me it's probably between those two once again. And I'm guessing because Regan edged him out, even with inferior condition to his and much, much worse stage color. Regan still beat him, so I believe Regan's going to still beat him today. But point is, back in the day with the point system, there is some better footage of this I'll show you later. It's a little closer up, taken not from the stream. It was on Instagram. This is Eric Janicki, who has millions of followers on Instagram, on YouTube, probably on TikTok. I wouldn't know. Just turned pro at a show in Mexico. There was a pro qualifier there, and Eric got his pro card legit. There's a lot of ways to turn pro now. It's not like the old days where there were very few opportunities. But he looks like he belongs up there. He's got the mass. He's got a pretty complete physique. We'll look at some better footage of him after this, but he's holding his own. He doesn't look out of place up there. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, classic. I'll look at classic a little bit later. I want to start with open. Reginald, 2 coats of protein, 2 weeks ago on black. Still not dark enough. Yeah, I guess it depends on what shade of black you are. Obviously, very lighter skinned black guys should tan and use stage color. Someone who's got a darker complexion, like a Samson, like a William Bonac, I don't think they necessarily need any extra color. I think they're good. I think nature took care of them with enough melanin, plenty of melanin. So that was Eric Janicki. Next up is a local Canadian guy. I'm not sure if he's based in the Montreal area or Toronto area. I know it's one of those two. But I've seen him before at this show. I've seen him compete before. I've been to the show, I believe 3 times I went to the Toronto Super Show. So this is Hossein Kalate. There's a sizable Persian population up in Canada, up in Montreal and Toronto. And they've put out some good bodybuilders. Fouad Abiad is probably one of the more notable Persian bodybuilders out of there. But we've seen quite a few. He looks thick, man. He's a short. I want to say he was a 212 before. I believe that's where I remember him best, was as a 212. I could be wrong on that. I'm wrong all the time. You guys love to remind me. Let's see. Kalyan says, remember Kevin Leveroni didn't renew his contract for Mr. Olympia, but ended up competing and finishing 3rd. Didn't renew his contract? I don't know what you mean by renew. Didn't sign his contract for Mr. Olympia? I don't know what you mean by renew, Kalyan. All right, so that is Hossein. I believe he was in the first call out when I jumped ahead. Again, there's only 9 guys in the show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are there 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 9 guys. So if there's 5 guys in a first call out, that's more than half the lineup already made the first call out. He's not Persian. I believe he is Persian, though. Hey, he's probably American. He's probably born in, not American, Canadian. It's a whole other country, Canada. I'm aware of that. We do not claim him. Yeah, I can understand. Some people love him. Some people hate him. If you don't, I'm sure you claim Hadi, of course. He would be the greatest. He's an Arab. What does Arab mean? I thought that was just sort of like a catch-all. Oh, is he Lebanese? Is that true? Okay. So is my son-in-law, Musa. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. That's some great George Farah, many other guys. Samir Banout, 1983 Mr. Olympia, the Lion of Lebanon. I always thought, for some reason, I thought Fouad was Persian, but clearly by saying that, I triggered some Persians out there. So any Lebanese people, do you claim him? I'm just curious. All right, this is Andrea. Did I miss Andrea Muzzi? No, this is him. This is Andrea Muzzi from Italy. So I think did I miss Adam Millage? And this would be Felix Norman. I think they're going in the order that was on the competitive sheet. But I feel like this is Adam Millage right here. I think Andrea was, I think the order was slightly different on the competitor list that's up on ifbbpro.com. So again, they're going to do their individual presentations. There's only a couple more guys, and then they're going to go into the first call out, and we can watch that together and see how that went. Who made first call out? I know Regan made it, of course. Sasan. I'm not 100% sure who else made it, but it's a small show, the Open. We will look briefly at 212 and Classic. Aretha did have all of those on there. Now you got to watch her commercial there on the side. Yeah, so the screen is tiny until that's over. Luckily, it's not during a critical part of the video, like we're trying to watch the first call out. Is it over? Yeah, it's over. Yeah, okay. So that was Felix Norman, I think. I want to say this is Skylar Schum, guy making his pro debut. I heard some people, yeah. I really triggered some people out there with mistakenly referring to Fouad Abiad as Persian. He's Lebanese, just like Mia Khalifa. Yeah, my son and my daughter actually ran into Mia at a lunch place down in Miami last weekend. They didn't say hi to her. They didn't approach her, but my son wasn't sure it was her, but he looked on her Instagram and matched up the tattoos to the woman he was looking at. It was Mia Khalifa. But yeah, I don't think she likes to be bothered out in public. Adult film star, Mia Khalifa, everybody. Now, Trigger Brother, appreciate the content. Thank you. Well, I can understand, because it's very easy. A lot of us non-Arabic people sort of lump all the Arabic people into one giant group, which is awful because it's a lot of different countries, cultures. It's not even all the same language. In Iran, they don't even speak Arabic. They speak Farsi. And there are different dialects in all those countries for various places. Oh, Giles just said on the group chat, he thinks Sasan has Toronto today over Regan. I'll tell you, that would be an upset. Boy, would that be an upset. All right, so let's look at the first call out, guys. Let's take a look together. That would be awesome. Imagine if Sasan finally got his Olympia qualification after 3 runner-ups, because I don't want to see him get a 4th runner-up today. That would be awful. Because runner-up means you're so close. You're 1 spot away from winning. And back in the point system days, it still would have gotten him to the Olympia, all these runner-ups, but now you got to win. So, okay, we got Regan Grimes. No surprise. Sasan Hossein Kalata. And who is that on the right? Who is that on the right they gave a call out to? I'm not even sure. Surprising, though. Surprising. I thought Andrea Muzzi would be up there in that first call. He's not. Is that Adam Millage on the right? But you could see Sasan and Regan are the ones right next to each other. So I'm just going to focus on them because I could see the title is between the two. Sasan has a better chest. The side leg is pretty equal. The back shots is usually where Regan beats just about everybody. He's got an incredible back. Sasan, he's not as wide, and there's nothing he can do about that. That's purely a bone structure issue. but looks like he brought the condition in. If you follow Sassan, you know that he was not detained, but he was stuck at JFK Airport in New York for 20 hours a couple of days ago in his flight from UK to Toronto. I guess he had to change planes, connect in New York, and he got stuck there for 20 hours without his luggage, without his food, and that's amazing. It's amazing to me that he still looks this good after enduring that. You don't want to be going through crap like that, 2 days before your show, which he was. So, yeah, again, the condition is probably better on Sassan. The tan is certainly better on Sassan. Sassan's got better quads. Now, it might look like Regan does just because he takes up so much space. And he is a taller, significantly taller guy. He's got a good 3 or 4 inches in height over Sassan. But when you see them close up, or when you see the pictures later, the high resolution images, and I'll try to find some of those when this is over, you can see that Sas does have one of the legs. Regan is a wider guy. He's bigger up top. Sassan, he's just not as massive a guy. It's not all about size. So they took them out of the lineup. That's a good sign. They left Hassan, and is that Adam? Who is that up there? Let's see. Very hard choice from Regan and Sassan on screen. I agree. I want to see. Iran is not an Arab country like Farsi is a country that's only semantic language spoken or considered Arab countries. Thank you. It's great to see Sassan. Yeah, he's from Croatia. I believe my daughter and her husband are going to Croatia. Is it Croatia, or are they going to? I think they're going to Croatia, yeah, for a vacation pretty soon. All right, so now you have up there Eric Janicki, Hossein Kaleta. I'm not sure who these guys are on the right. I want to say that's Adam Millage and Skylar Shum. Yeah, I'm not totally familiar with some of these guys. There's a Felix Norman in there somewhere too, I believe. I know, I should know everybody. I know. Or is that Aaron Gowley on the right with the blonde hair? I think that's Aaron Gowley. Yeah. So I can see his face so blurry. I agree. How'd the new guy look? Eric looks really good, actually. Team Angela White, Mia Khalifa is reprehensible. Did Andrea get last call? Well, there's only really, I guess you could say this isn't last call out because they took 2 guys out and put 2 guys in their place. They took Regan and Sassan. So there's only 2 more guys who haven't been looked at this point. Sass looking better from a conditioning point of view. My money's on Sass. Hassan has a better condition today. Screen, video quality. I agree. The video quality is not great. Regan looks soft compared to last week. Felix Norman on the end. Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's Felix Norman there in the blue trunks, the turquoise trunks. So they're shuffling guys around. Yeah, Eric Janicki is on the left on your screen now. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to some Instagram stuff to get a better idea. Because I know I saw some stuff that was the footage was just the pictures were a little bit better. Let me see if Beyond Stage TV has something good. Yeah, they have a little closer up stuff. So, all right, I'm going to pause this and I'm going to share Instagram. So this is from the Instagram page Beyond Stage TV. And we can look at, this was the final call out. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I know this is just somebody's iPhone footage, but at least it's closer. It's a lot closer up. Oh, man, it's tough. But you know what? If it's that close, and Sassan does have a little better condition, for sure, better rounder arms in that shot, I'd probably just give it to Sassan, man. I would. The lighting from last year's Cali Pro. Yeah, which wasn't the greatest. Not the greatest. What else do they have on there? It can be only one. Okay. Yes, Hossein. That chest. Great chest on him. Regan, Sass. Did he tell you who it is? No. Interesting, though. Interesting. Again, man, it's tough for Sass to beat him because Regan is so wide. He's got a lot more mass up top. It's so close. I mean, if Sass does beat him, it's going to be by a point or two. It's not going to be unanimous first place votes the way Regan's been winning lately. The way Regan won that show. Interesting. Interesting. What else they got there? That was Sass's individual. Look at those. Yeah. For a guy that went 20 hours waiting around the airport with probably just a backpack and had to live off, they don't even have food available 24 hours in the airport. The restaurants usually shut down around like 10 or 11. And you got like vending machines. You know, I don't know, maybe he had someone in New York that could come and bring him food at the airport. I don't know what he did. I'd like to get an interview with Sass when this is all said and done. He's had a heck of a season, man. Talk about perseverance. You got to hand it to this guy. He will not give up. He is dead set on getting to the Mr. Olympia. He's not going to quit. He will keep doing show after show until he gets that Olympia qualification. So this was Eric Janicki, social media star, big guy, enormous guy, and you know, not lacking for much. Maybe the shape and structure is not as pretty as some guys, but goodness, he's stacked. Enormous delts, arms, legs. Of course, we're only seeing that a couple shots here, but I think you get the idea. Yeah. Okay. What else they got? There's Regan. Good footage of Regan here. Yeah, again, the tan, he looks orange. He just cannot seem to get that color that we like to see, the brown color. He's sort of like got a reddish orange tint to him. Maybe a little bit of yellow in there. I don't know. Will it be enough? The legs, to me, I know this isn't the greatest footage. It's someone's iPhone from like the 5th or 8th row. I don't know. He doesn't look as sharp here as he did when he won the Cali Pro 2 weeks ago. And I don't think that's intentional. I don't think he tried to come in less conditioned. It's just maybe he's been in prep for so long. It's hard for him to hold. I don't know. I don't want to make too many speculations and guesses. Sass. Okay. I did see some other stuff on Bodybuilders Without Borders had some different footage as well. That was the first call out pictures. And they're telling you who it is. That was Regan. Okay, that was Felix Norman on the right. So it's Hossein, Regan, Sasan, and Felix there. Good shot. You seeing all this? Yeah. That's front double. Yeah, this is a worse shot. It's a bad shot for Sass because he does have, looks like he's torn that bicep at some point. It's retracted there a little ways from the elbow. And of course, it's a shot that showcases Regan's structure, his width across the shoulders, that narrow waist. And even though his thighs aren't awesome, it's enough to really complete that X frame. But I take nothing away from Sass. He is more a narrower guy, but he's bringing the condition. This is a beautiful shot for Sasan. Very complete shot, that front lat spread. It's a good shot for Regan, too. Don't get me wrong. I don't know why Regan has his legs so far apart. That seems to be like the norm a lot of times now. Look at the legs on Hossein there on the left. Massive. Yeah, I don't know why Regan doesn't bring his legs. I know why guys do it. They're trying to create the illusion of bigger thighs, but to me, it sort of draws attention to the fact that your thighs probably aren't that big. There's a great shot. Side chest. Regan, even though I'd love to see a thicker chest on Regan, this is still a great shot for Regan. Great shot for Sass as well. His chest is thicker here. They both have amazing hamstring drop. Great quads and hams from the side. Really good shots. The back, like I said, that's tough. It's tough for anybody to beat Regan on back shots. He is very well known for his back development, and he displays it well. It's thick from top to bottom, side to side. Sasan has a really good back as well. Not quite as wide, but that's just because his clavicles aren't as wide across. The lat spread. That's a really good shot for both of them again. I think they both look fantastic. Again, you can see how Regan's lats, you can see there how they sort of jut out at almost a 90-degree angle. That makes for a very impressive lat spread. Sassan doesn't quite have that much pop and width to the sides on his lats, but they're still very, very good, very impressive. Side try. I think they're both about equal in that shot. I don't know who I'd give that shot to. Maybe Regan. Probably Regan. Abdominal and thigh. Yeah, I mean, overall shape and everything, I give that to Regan, but Sassan looks pretty damn good there too. Is that the last shot? That's a second call out. And the most muscular again. Sass looks fantastic. I just don't know if it's going to be the same thing all over again with Regan's got more size and more width. He just takes up so much more space. I don't know if that's going to make the deciding factor. I don't know. I'll get to Sass today. Better condition, better for the. You know what? If it was a tie, and this is just me. I'm not a judge, and I'm not even pretending to speak for the judges for 1 second. So don't anybody get that twisted. But if it's so close that it could be a tie, the way it was with Derek and Nick at Pittsburgh, but remember, regardless of what you guys think, it was a dead heat. It was a perfect tie score between Derek and Nick. If it ends up being the same thing here, I would give it to Sassan because Regan's already got his Olympic qualification. He's already got his win. I know it doesn't work. It's not supposed to work that way. They're supposed to really dig deep into their conscience and their all their beliefs about ideals, what ideal physique should represent, looking at every little factor and see if we're weighing out every single variable, structure, muscle shape, symmetry, proportion and balance, condition, presentation, put all that together, and you really have to dig deep to figure out which one of these two men deserves to win today. That's what's probably going to come up to Sassan. Looks improved from last time. If he is better than last time, that's not only surprising to me, but that's commendable. He should be really praised for that, Sassan, because he had to fly over again from the UK, and he did, like I said, he got stuck in an airport for 20 hours. I've been in that situation before, not for a whole 20 hours, but it was close one time. I think I was in an airport for 7. It's a long time to be stuck somewhere without your food, without your luggage, probably wondering flight. I don't know if a flight was canceled. I'm not sure what happened, but it's awful. Canada should join the U.S. Sass for the win. He looks bigger, but not better condition. Yeah, I don't think he has. He didn't have the condition on him 2 weeks ago either in Cali. He still beat him, though. Weird chest on the left guy. That's Hassan. It almost looks like he has 2 tears there. Great condition. He looks amazing. What if there's any other footage? That was second call out where Eric Janicki joined Hossein. And they also brought out Felix Norman and Regan. Oh, I thought they were going to tell me who placed where there or who was in the call out. This was the second call out group of guys. Might have been third call out. Yeah, but it's a 2-man battle right now. It's going to come down to Sassan and Regan. Oh, Sassan wants this. We saw that footage already. Sassan nailed it. There's a much better photo. It's the best photo we've seen so far that really illustrates the condition Sassan was in. There's Janicki and Aaron Golly. Yeah, Aaron looks good too, man. Aaron's condition looks freaking damn great, doesn't it? He's not gonna beat the other guys, but he looks damn good. Damn good. Open first impressions. That was just the first call out. I'll go back to the footage while we're talking. Not a Regan fan, but his build is well balanced. He took up another notch of conditioning. He could win the Olympia. No, not yet. I'll tell you why. To win the Olympia, he's got to get past Samson Dauda, Hadi Chupon, Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker, Andrew Jacked, few other really good guys. And I'm not saying he couldn't be top 6, top 8, But none of those people that I mentioned, he's beating. He's not going to beat them yet. He needs bigger quads. He needs more of a chest. And condition definitely needs to be better. But he's not ready to win the Olympia yet. I'm not ruling it out for the future. I'm not saying Regan Grimes isn't capable of winning the Olympia in the coming years once he brings up those areas. But we got 3 guys competing still. I mean, Brandon Curry even still competing. He's a Mr. Olympia champion. Is he beating him? I don't know. He hasn't beaten him yet. Wuston Fuchs, even with top condition, Regan is a candidate for top 4th Olympia. Yeah. It's not the overall muscle mass that he lacks. It's just certain areas. He probably would need to be a little bit bigger to be beating guys like Sampson and Hadi and Lunsford, Nick Walker. I mean, Nick Walker's massive. But yeah, that's so we got up there now. Muzzy, that's Golly in the middle. I'm not sure who that is on the left. Imagine Crizzo, that tall guy, but nowhere shake you with the posing. Too many muffins spoiled Regan's condition. Well, that's a Chris Aceto trademark, is the muffins. He loves it, but I'm not saying. I don't think Aceto would intentionally have his clients consume anything that would compromise their conditioning, but he is known for the pre-workout muffins. I remember when Jose was being coached by him, and I would meet Jose to train. He always had a couple muffins, literally about 20 minutes, 30 minutes before we trained. Eric Janicki reminds me of the late Mike Matarazzo. Yeah, nobody had calves. No, there have been some guys with awesome calves, but Matarazzo was the greatest calves I've ever seen. I don't know about the tanning or Regan too. No, it's not the lighting, because look at the other guys. I know the lighting's not awesome. This isn't the best stream, and obviously I'm looking at a stream of a stream, so we're 2 generations down. I'm thinking Sass has this one. I hope so. Lunsford looks like he's riding a horse, talking about how he has his legs apart when he's staying there. Is that James Hollingshead? No, James is not competing today. Cannonball Delts. That's Andrea Muzzi from Italy on the right now. I don't know who was on screen when you made that post, though. Advantage Sass. The tiebreaker. That was the round that they needed to come up with. They had to come up with something to give a win in Pittsburgh, because they were completely tied. Oh, hey, Randy. Can I slow down a little bit? All right, this was the final call out, guys. It was Sass and Regan. And it's close. It's close. Whenever they do 2 men, it's a call out that's only 2 men. That tells you it's very, very close. Judges are not having an easy time with this. Based on conditioning and color, Sass has him dead to rights. It's not even close. It's not like Regan's out of shape, but he's faded a little bit from 2 weeks ago. And Sassan is actually as sharp as he was 2 weeks ago. Considering all the traveling he's doing, that's amazing. The back shots, I know. It's not a who wins more poses thing, guys. I mean, I know a lot of you guys like to say, well, he wins 4 poses, he wins 3 poses. So you think it's like a scorecard. It's not really arbitrary, Epiboji. Trying to see my comparisons. What's up, Mike? Say hi to Mike Cox. Regan will probably win 8th, 12th Olympia. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say I hope he doesn't win today. I don't want to sound like I'm a Regan hater. I have nothing against Regan. And I'm not like a Sassan fanboy. It's just I feel so bad for Sassan that he's already taken 2nd place 3 times. It's not even summer yet. 3 shows. He took 2nd to Bonac, to Andrew Jack, and to Regan. It would be just really cool to see him turn the tables on Regan and get the win today and get his ticket to Olympia. Don't know if it's going to happen. It's close enough so that I don't think that many people would be upset. That being said, the show is in Toronto. It's Regan's hometown. I know he lives in Vegas most of the year, but a lot of people would probably scream and boo, and I don't think they'd throw things at the stage, but you would have a lot of upset people if Regan did not win this win. But the judges, I'm only saying that as a sidebar. It doesn't really matter. The judges don't care. The judges aren't trying to keep the fans happy. Now we got to watch a commercial for BJ's Gas on the corner. Regan needs 10 more pounds to be contender for top 6. I agree. He needs 10 more pounds, and he needs more chest and more quads. You can't really have any glaring weak points when you're trying to be the best bodybuilder in the world. Yeah, I don't know if he's beating Bonac either. Canadian guy looks like a bronze trophy. Which Canadian guy was it? Oh, Aaron. Probably when Aaron was on the screen. Oh, yeah. I need to know. I think it's if I'm going too slow. That's why I'm. No, Muffin is the Muffin references that Chris Aceto is known to have his athletes eat muffins right before their workout. I don't know 100% for certain, but most people would say that's because they're taking it with insulin and it works very well with insulin, a fast-acting carbohydrate source, and they get awesome pumps for the workout. So they're winding it down up there. Sass and Regan, abdominal and thigh. Regan does a great job of making his thighs look bigger than they really are. Now, I'm not saying if you throw a tape measure around them that they're small. They're not. The only reason I say they're smaller is if you look at how massive his shoulders are, how wide he is up top. And see, the judges, look at that. They flip them around. It's not easy. They're not sure what they want to do here. Sass comes across being a real judge. Yeah, I mean, I like Sass. I like Regan. I've interviewed him. I watched some of his content. He's a cool guy, a kid. He's only 31. Is he 31, 30, 32? He's young, just put it that way. And, sincere, humble guy, even though he's got a huge social media following, big time sponsors, Celsius, the Celsius energy drink. That's a massive sponsor for a bodybuilder to have. Rear delt bicep shot. Yeah, this is going to go down to the wire, guys. Yeah, we might see a tiebreaker round in a few hours. Now they're supposed to be starting the finals. Finals were supposed to start at 3 o'clock Eastern, which it's 3:21 now. Now, they had a lot of divisions to get through. They started judging at 9 in the morning, and they didn't get to open men until, oh, boy, it was like at least 1 o'clock, 1:30. So it's going to be a while before the finals gets around to the men, before we have a winner declared. But I'll be anxiously awaiting to see how this goes. So with muffin pre-workout and Chad's apple 5 filling is famous. In-N-Out Burger's delicious. If you ever have a chance to get some In-N-Out Burger, they make a great burger. I like it better than Five Guys. Most muscular, and that was it. That was judging. That was judging, guys. Sass looks a little bit better. Is enough to win. I hope so. I root for the underdog. I think that's human nature. We like to root for the underdog, the guy who's got the odds stacked against him. The fact that Sasan lost just 2 weeks ago to Regan, it would be very, very unusual. Let's look at class 212. 212 first call out. So 212 first call out was interesting because, or was that the last call out? If you remember Courage Opara, very good classic physique pro. He was top 5 in the Arnold. I think he was top 6 in Olympia. I saw him win Texas Pro a couple years ago when I was out there. Okay, so that was not the first call. He seems to be in the lead for this show. So let's look at the first call out. Okay, so let's go back 5 seconds and hit play. This was 212 division, guys. It was Fran Barrios Silk. We've got to wait till we get up a little closer. Fran Barrios Silk, who just won New York Pro. Then you got Courage Opara. Got Cody Drobot. And what's this guy? His name's Mike Cromwell or something? I got to get it right. Let me take a look, guys.
Right, you did.
So I'm going to get the name because I don't like not having people's names. All right, classic was that's Janicki. Okay. 212 first call out. Cody Drobot. Oh, that's Mike Condell. Mike Condell on the right, who I'm not really familiar with. But yeah, Courage looking really, really good there. I mean, you don't see too many classic guys move up to 212 or open. It's obviously he probably grew out of the classic weight limit, is my guess. And that makes sense to me because my only real critique on Courage as a classic guy was I didn't see the mass that I wanted to see. The shape was beautiful, structure, all those things. Presentation was fantastic, still is. Look at him. but needed some more mass. And he was gone for a couple of years. Haven't even heard the name in a couple of years. And now he comes back. I'm guessing he's got at least 10 or 15 pounds more muscle tissue than he did the last time we saw him. And by all indications, from all the posts I was seeing, he is in the lead for this. He's in the lead. Yeah, let me see. Let me go back to some other footage for that. Yeah, this is actually better footage. This is actually much better. So I'm going to share this instead. Okay, so here we go. That's Fran Barrios, Vic, Courage Opara, Cody Drobot, Mike Condell. Mike Condell, I'm not familiar with him, but this guy looks thick as hell. Look at those delts. They said his back shots were the best. So I want to wait until he turns around, take a look at that back. This is going to be on a loop, I'm sure. This is from Bodybuilders Without Borders, I think. And I want to look at Classic too real quickly. Yeah, Courage, man. So he was able to add the mass to move up to 212 and still keep that nice small waist. Honestly, I think it was a little bit smaller as a Classic guy, but considering how much mass he's added since then, I don't see it as an issue. It's not like he built a bubble gut. Barrios, I guess he slipped. His condition slipped a little bit. And New York Pro was 4 weeks ago. Geez, not much. His condition, look at the glutes are still in. Huh. I wonder why he's not in contention. I think Courage is just that good. This is good for Cody because I think Cody got beat at that show by Barrios. Interesting. Been here since 2K. Oh, subs. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I mean, do I have 10K yet? No, I think I'm like 50. I'm less than 100 away, I think, from. So if you're not subscribed, it doesn't cost you anything. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, share, do all that good stuff. Sass is sharper. I think Regan has this last one. Yeah, I hope not. And again, it's only because I'm really rooting for Sass. 3 second places in a row. I would hate to see him get 4 second places. Well, not in a row. He took 5th at New York, but this season he got 4. Hometown will help, like trying to beat Beirut in Dubai. Is Beirut does he live in Dubai or does he live in Iran? I thought he lived in Iran. Sass looks much better, sharp and better tan. Yeah, but Dean, that was also the case 2 weeks ago at the Cali Pro, and Regan still beat him. So I don't know what's going to happen. We're looking at 212 right now, where it looks to be Courage Opara and Cody Drobot battling. Surprisingly, New York Pro champ Fran Barrios Vic is not being looked at for the win here. Very surprising because he's damn good. Regan faded hella. Mandy, is Sass doing Dubai? I'm not sure, but I don't think he'd be beating Nathan Dasha and Beirut are 2 of the headliners for that. Who else is doing Dubai? You got Nexzilla, Rubiel Moscara. I don't think he's going to win Dubai, so I don't know if that would be a really good idea for him. Juan Diesel Morel prepped me. It was Pop-Tart post-workout. I mean, Pop-Tarts, anything with that sugar, the quick sugar, you just don't want fat. That was where I made a mistake, was the one I used insulin for one off-season winter. So it was about 3 months. And I was eating cookies, which, they weren't fat-free. Sass way better. To run to my most subscribed channels. Well, I'm not looking for 100,000 subs, although I would love that. But, just getting the subs and the views up to a respectable level, a few thousand more subs, I'd be very, very happy with that, of course. All right, so this is the first call out of the top 4 in 212 is what we're looking at up on stage right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'd have Courage for the win. I just like his shape. I like his shape. Courage, he was a top classic guy for a reason. They got one more pose, a couple more poses, abdominal thigh, and then I'll jump into the classic because I like to give all the not all the divisions. I'm not showing all the women's divisions, but they all deserve a little bit of recognition. And when I say all, to me, the three divisions that I follow the most closely are open bodybuilding, 212 bodybuilding, and classic physique. I respect all divisions, but these are the three that I'm the most interested in. They were probably the only three divisions I could judge. If I was a judge, I could sit on the judging panels for those divisions and say with confidence I would make fair decisions and get it right, and I would be in alignment with what the other judges are doing. Other divisions like bikini and stuff, I'd be all. Did I see Lee Haney's podcast? Just get rid of open. Well, more characters. I did a podcast with Lee Haney, the same. We released it within 10 minutes of each other, not even knowing, me and Matt from Muscle Discord. Neither one of us knew that the other one had interviewed Lee. And we put up our videos so close to each other, it was frightening. I think I was posting mine. He had just posted his. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. He did his with Real Deal Chris Cormier also. He does a podcast with Real Deal Cormier every week. And I was doing mine just as a dedicated Ron Line Report interview with Lee Haney. Please check it out. I got Lee to open up about drug use in the 80s, you know, what he thinks was fairly standard among his peers. And I think he was sort of indirectly saying what he would do back in the day. So that was enlightening because no one's ever asked Lee. No one's ever, and I never had the guts to ask him. But when he was being blasted by a lot of the younger guys for some commentary he made on another podcast that was not like a bodybuilding podcast. It was more of a mainstream podcast where he said these guys today abuse gear. They use too much. So I said, I've never asked Lee Haney about gear before, but if he's going to say the guys now use so much more, I think it's only fair to ask, well, Lee, what was a gear protocol like back then? You don't have to tell me exactly what you did, but I'd like to hear, generally speaking, what were the amounts, the dosages? And he laid it out for me. It's at 22 minutes into the interview with Lee Haney. If you want to check that out, it's on this channel, of course. Sass should take this one. His polishing is enough to overpower Regan's shape. So still the 212 guys up there. Classic was before that, I believe. Was this Classic? Yeah. Classic was interesting. I didn't watch it yet. I haven't watched it yet, I should say. And I honestly don't even know all the top names in this, but I just want to see the first call out in Classic. Don't know who all these guys are. Yeah, I should probably stay away from Classic because I don't know who they are and I'm going to look like a moron. I think that's Dura, Mahmoud El Dura there on the end, who was a very good 212 competitor. What else do I have in Classic? Yeah, he's the only one I mentioned. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to open. What the heck? Open first call out. Yep. While we're talking, Aretha Lab, that's who is showing this. If you guys know of any social media pages that have really good footage up there right now, I'd be all about that. Toronto Pro. Are they still showing Classic? Huh. What am I showing right now? Oh, that's Instagram. Okay. Stop sharing. Let's see. Toronto Pro Super Show. Sorry, guys. I left. Mistakenly got off the. I clicked out of the video. My bad. Present. Share screen. All right, there we go. I wish I could make this a little bit bigger, but I can't. Don't know how. Too dopey to understand how to do that. So you got to watch it a little smaller on the screen. Here's True Fanatic. How do you open category? Hale open category. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason the open bodybuilders make so much more money for prize money than everybody else. It's the main draw. It's the reason people buy the tickets to the shows. It's the reason they pay for the pay-per-views. It just is. Classic is not too far behind, but open is always, you know, when I do live streams of a whole event where I'm showing different divisions, it's easy for me to see who's watching, because up in the corner right now, I can see there are 138 people watching. So say I had the Arnold Classic on and men's physique was on. I'm just throwing it out there. Or let's say women's bikini, which I wouldn't even be covering because I'm not a good critic of it. It would jump up from like 200 watching to 1,000 watching when open came on. So I know right there the interest is in open, and that's why they make so much more money. Is Presti in the show? No, it's Muzzy. Yeah, it took me a while to differentiate between Muzzy and Presti, but they are two very different guys. Muzzy's in this. Presti, have not seen Presti yet this season. Mr. Haney reminds me of dignified military veteran with an ocean of knowledge. It's funny because he retired at the age of 31 with 8 Mr. Olympia titles. We're never going to see that happen again. But the point being is, I was 21 years old back then. He's 10 years older than me. Yeah, he was born in 59. I was born in 69. I met him 91. Earlier in the year, he came out to California to do a video that my company was producing. It was a workout video that was going to go along with the Twin Lab mass fuel. It was a whole kit. You got a weight gain, a big bucket of weight gain powder. You got protein, big mass gain, weight gain bars. Anyway, it came with a workout video that we produced. Anyway, that was in the spring of 91 before he won his 8th and final Olympia. And he seemed to me like just such a mature, wise man. And he was only 31 years old. And when I was 31 years old, I wouldn't, mature and wise are not two adjectives I would use to describe myself, put it that way. I was still figuring a lot of stuff out. Posing off stage fat, and I always remember that. Now he was always shredded. Off season. Oh, well, that's, we don't really have guest posers as much anymore, Ollie. But back in the day, it was very common to see guest posers on stage that were way out of shape. Deep off season. Ronnie guest posed a few times at like 330 pounds when he was, competing. He had a lot of different stage weights, but let's just say he was carrying a lot of fat and water. And it was very commonplace back then. You'd go to these contests and there'd be a guest poser billed on the poster for the flyers and the poster for the contest. And you'd be all excited about seeing this guy. And then they show up looking, you can't see a single cut or striation anywhere. It was kind of a letdown, honestly. Damn, you got lead open about his drug use. Yeah. Yeah, Dave, he didn't say this is what I used. So I sort of used that trick that they got Ted Bundy. I'm not comparing Lee to a horrible serial killer. I'm just saying a technique that interviewers have used in the past is to get someone to speak about activities or such in the third person. So it wasn't them doing it. They're saying, well, what might the killer have done, Ted? He says, well, the killer might have broken into the second story window because of a fire escape. And he laid out exactly what he had done, but he wasn't admitting to it per se. So when Lee said, I would use like a 1 ml of test, half of ml of Deca, some Anavar, I'm pretty sure he was referring to what he was using, but he wasn't saying I used. He wasn't speaking in the first person. But I believe he was being fairly honest and forthright about what he was using. And, I don't know what the other guys were using. And I don't think guys back then talked so much about what they used with each other. Now they go on podcasts, and that's like the main talking point is what was your cycle? How many milligrams of this? How many milligrams of that? It was a little more secretive back in the day. And I don't think it was so much of a case that they were trying to get an edge on someone else by revealing their secret drug stack. It just wasn't talked about. It was more of a private matter. Who would you rather smoosh with, Ron? That's a good question. I'll answer it. Open female biologist, Shaw, Angela Yo, Christine Mendoza, or Lavina Rodriguez Barros. Just a non-lifting girl is 40 pounds overweight. 40 pounds overweight. Oh, man. 40 pounds is a lot. I mean, considering unless we're talking a woman who's like 6 foot, right? I'd go with the bodybuilder. Yeah, I'd go with the bodybuilder, 100%. I like muscles. I've always liked muscles, muscular women. My wife, muscular. I've always had a thing for buff women. So yeah, that's an easy one. Good question. Leanne was always a wise man. He always had an evolved demeanor. Dan Dillon, what's up? He won 8 Sandows return. Hey, what does he know? Well, a lot of the young guys would say he doesn't know anything because he's not as big as Samson or Big Ramy, so he doesn't know anything. But again, no one else won 8 Olympias and retired on top. The only other guy to win 8 Olympias was Ronnie, and Ronnie kept going for a couple more years trying to win again and wasn't able to get the title back. His physique had started to go downhill due to nerve damage and things like that, spinal damage. He was never able to recapture his look, but Lee went out on top. He had no injuries, no health problems. He was just done with. He had accomplished everything he wanted to accomplish, and he walked away as the champion. 40 pounds is a lot. You said, glad my wife is listening. 40 pounds. I mean, we're thinking about women are shorter, right? Generally speaking, average American woman is 5'4". My wife's only 5'2". 40 pounds overweight. And when you say overweight for a regular woman, we're not talking like 40 pounds over what we call contest conditions, shredded. No, we're talking about a healthy weight. So 5'4", I think the healthy weight for them, according to like the doctors, would be, I don't know, 120, 130 pounds. So if you add 40 pounds on that, you're starting to get pretty fluffy. 5'4", 5'5", yeah. If size equates to wisdom, Greg Kovacs for Prime Minister of Canada. Rest in peace, Greg. Yeah, he didn't live a very long, healthy life. The contracts, the magazines. Yeah, William, it was also part of the supplement contracts. The supplement contracts also had clauses, and for good reason, because we knew the people who were, if you were aware of what was going on, you knew these guys were on steroids. It wasn't like a secret, but a lot of the young, naive kids, the teenagers picking up the magazines and flipping through the ads and seeing all these ads with the bodybuilders holding up a can of Muscle Tech or Twin Lab or Metrex or whatever, and the guy saying Metrex gave me this body or Twin Lab or whatever, they were like, oh wow, awesome, okay, and they fell for it and they went and bought it. But yeah, is Martin doing Dubai? Rumors out there. I don't know what Martin's doing. The thing with Martin is he's already qualified. He qualified after the Olympia last year by virtue of winning the EVLS Prague show, beating Bumstead. He did these other shows, not unnecessarily. There was good money and good exposure in doing the Arnold Classic and the Pittsburgh Pro, but for him to keep going, to stay on prep throughout the year and do Dubai, which is still 2 weeks away from today, that would probably put his body in a rough spot to be in prep all that time to try to look his absolute best at the Olympia in October, which I'm sure he wants to because he was 4th place last year. He would love to move up from 4th, Martin. Who wouldn't? They're all in it to win. They're not there to place. So his best chance of looking his absolute best and placing his best is probably, I imagine he took a little health phase after Pittsburgh show, and he'll be back at it. When they do retire, bodybuilders lost memory. They all suddenly were natty for years, and he's won primo. No, they don't all say that. Some of them do downplay what they use, but not all of them. Post J Color compared to bodybuilding become lackluster and generally way past the heydays. I don't want to shit on the current generation. We have some amazing competitors. Good old liver pills. I took liver pills for years. Liver aminos, because I wrote for John Perillo's Perillo Press from 1993 up until he got rid of it 3 years ago. So for almost 30 years, I would get, he didn't pay me. He gave me a box. I would order whatever supplements I wanted. I got, a couple $100 worth of supplements every month for free, in exchange for writing that column. And liver aminos were a staple with Perillo. I used to take anywhere between 4 and 8 of those with every meal. So do the math. That's a lot. A lot of B vitamins, a lot of iron. Each one had some protein in it. Nick Walker physique, although not appealing, is undeniable dangerous. Yes, but the only way Nick can compete with Shape Monster is with raw size. As for Derek, his physique never looked good to me. I've been yapping. Is this that last call out again? Sassan Regan? I should be able to tell from the back. That looks like Sassan Regan. Yeah. So again, we're looking at the final call out. What is out of Dubai? I didn't even know he was in. This was the final call out. I'm going to go to Instagram and see if there's anything better. Sometimes these Instagram pages have some closer footage, put it that way. What was that? 5 days ago? No, I don't want to see 5 days ago. Yeah. Is that only 3 poses? Yeah. So this is going to come down to the wire, guys. Sassan has him on condition. He's got the better legs. Structurally and overall mass, Regan has him. He beats him. It's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. I'd be very, very happy for Sassan to win. Very happy. And it's nothing against Regan. I like Regan too. I have nothing but respect and admiration for both of these men. This sport is very, very difficult. The pay compared to other professional sports is crap. So they do it for the love of the game. You know, Regan makes a good living, but it's nothing compared to, you know, some of these like baseball players that have $600-700 million multi-year contracts to play their to participate in their sport. Yeah, very interesting to see what happens there. Good old liver pills. I'm sure the 8 Sandoz deserve like Ron. Yeah, back in the day, you know, Lee Haney was off his game at a couple of those wins. Ronnie was off his game. Dorian was off his game at a couple of his wins. Back in the day, you had to knock out Mr. Olympia. You couldn't just barely beat him. Now, you just barely beat him. You beat him. You win. It's not about knocking out the champ. It's about being the best physique on that day now. So excited. Weider came out with the anabolic mega packs. The Weider supplements, yeah. Joe had us all under his spell for many, many years. Uncle Joe Weider. His magazines were really sort of marketing material, promotional material to sell his supplements, his training equipment, but mainly his supplements. Who do I have winning? I think it's a tie again, Goku, but I want to, maybe I'm just being an a-hole because I want to see Sass get it. So I would give it to Sass just because he needs to get this guy to the Olympia. You know, I don't think the judges are going to look at it that way. Like, well, guys, you know, it's close and Sassan really needs to win. I don't think it's going to be that. They're going to do their best to try to determine the rightful winner. 2 shows, a few years he had his shit together. Yeah, I mean, 2023 he looked pretty good, but it's been a while. Trying something new with leg training. Okay. We're talking about training now. I don't want to talk too much about training because we're talking about this contest right now. What were you doing? Multiple sets. High squats. Yeah, a lot of people do squats last just so they don't have to go as heavy and put that load on their spine. That's all I'm going to say about that. And multiple times showing people want to show up on stage 100% peaked. That's not true. I would say, well, they weren't peaked every time. I think that's what you're saying. I mean, for Haney, I think his last win was probably his best, 91. He looked his best. He was biggest. He was 254. He was peeled. Dorian's best win to me was probably his second win, 93. Ronnie's first 2 wins, spectacular. He looked in 2002 and 3. Am I getting the years right? No, what am I saying? No, 98 and 99. Got to really ask me, which is worse, smoking cigs, drinking all your life, or juicing 20 years max? They're both horrible for you. They're both horrible. I don't know which one's worse. You would have to ask a doctor that question. I mean, cigarettes is going to destroy your lungs. Gear doesn't affect your lungs. Drinking, you can destroy your liver, but you can destroy your liver and your kidneys and your heart with steroids. Group job, natural, non-competitor, normal competing life. I forgot what your question was. Knocking out the champs was BS. I agree. Hate V squats. What did your place? Well, it's not over yet. He's in the running for classic. I'd have to wait and see the awards. We'll tell him when to show. Yeah, that's. I figured that's what you meant. That's very true. They didn't do that. So let me see if there's any other footage, great footage before I leave you guys, because the stream was not awesome as you saw. It wasn't great. What was this footage? That we already saw that. Okay, so that was Beyond the Stage. Let me look at Bodybuilders Without Borders to see what they have. They're doing all the same kind of. Everyone's kind of using the same pictures and videos, so I don't think we're going to see anything different. So, yeah. Tough call, guys. Tough call. I mean, the good news is I think the finals are already on. Is it on yet? No, they're late. They're supposed to start finals at 3. It's almost 4, and they haven't come back yet. Huh. Interesting. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. What happens? Calves disappear. Calf return permanent looked amputated. I don't know if that was a nerve damage issue or what happened there. Who you got winning? I'm going to go with Sasan just because it's honestly because I think they're tied, they're equal, and I want Sasan to get to Olympia. That's it. I said it. Eating me 100 pounds or what you too hard on the body. I mean, being a bodybuilder, an enhanced bodybuilder, and carrying all that mass. Taking the drugs is a toll, but just being that big is also placing a big toll on your physique, on your body. Sass might take it this time. Sass, talk to Regan Pro, cool guy, yeah. Ryan 98. Oh, these are his best looks. Ryan 98, Dorian 95. I like Dorian better in 93. Arnold 74, Hay 91, Jay 2009, Phil 2013. Okay, yeah, I'm not really going to argue too much with those. I've never seen a show come down to calves. All these years, I've never seen two guys who are completely equal, but one had better calves, and that's why he won. It's not to say that couldn't happen. You'd almost need to see like twins or something. Well, the twins would have the same calves, so that wouldn't work. I've never seen it come down to calves. I mean, and think about the guys who had the greatest calves. Mike Matarazzo never won a pro show. What's the guy that's with Universal Nutrition? Eric. Well, Ben Pekulski had great calves. I mean, he never won a pro show. Eric, what the hell's? What's his name? He's from Pennsylvania. Eric. He had massive calves. He didn't compete that often. Well, Muscle Insight just tagged me, so. Well, Regan has his whole family there, which is nice being in London, Ontario, skip away from Toronto. Yeah. Fankhauser, thank you. It's Fank, not Frank, not Frankenstein. Fankhauser, he had great calves. What was the other question? Saying Sass is winning is better for the O. It's the exact type of judging we were trying to get away from. Regan's a better body condition difference is not large, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, if he deserves it, Regan should absolutely win. Calves, I've seen men's physique shows where the top 5 guys, not one of them had calves. They all had very, very poor calf development. Very poor. I want to go to Muscle Insight because they just tagged me on something, on a story. And I think it was better footage of Regan. Muscle Insight is a newer channel, but they're doing great work. Oh, yeah, this is good. This is a good look at Regan right here. Yeah, his condition looks a lot better here than what we're seeing in that stream, right? Yeah, looking at that, I don't really have a problem with him winning. Ron Dex, no calves. Sure. How tall is Sass? I think he's about 5'7" or 5'8". He's not that short. Yeah, I agree. No, I don't want to cover up his quad there. Regan has a small hole in his inner right chest. Huh. Looks like some of the freakiest calves. Yeah. Yeah. No, we've had some guys with good calves. Absolutely. Flex Lewis's calves were insane. Especially in the off season, they were even bigger, if that's possible. So they look pretty freaky. Yeah, Regan looks pretty damn great here. I don't know. I wish I had footage of this quality. I don't think this was the stream. Was it? Maybe this was. But they're zooming in on it better than I was able to. Regan looks pretty damn good, man. See, I don't know. Maybe I would just have to give it to Regan then. I wish I was there because you really see the difference in conditioning when you're there. You don't see it as much. Oh, that was Nikki Rizzles. Does Nikki Rizzles have footage up? Oh, he's only got Regan. I think he's got Regan up because is he Regan's videographer? Not sure. That's just a shot. Yeah. Whew. Good stuff, though. Okay. Yeah, guys, I think I'm just gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll go back to Regan because I'm gonna come back for finals at some point when the finals wrap up. But let me know in the comments if you're watching this on a replay, who you got. I know it's tough because we don't have the greatest images to go by. By the time we get to the finals, I'm sure there's going to be some good high-res images posted on a few of these Instagram, not channels, pages. So that'll give us a better indication of how these two stack up. And I'm talking about Regan Grimes and Sassan Heirati, who are definitely the top two in this show, the Toronto Super Show. Which way is it going to go? Don't know. Can't say right now. It's very, very close. Very, very close. Look how big Dorian's calves were. Yeah. The funny thing about Dorian is he trained his calves once a week and he did one set. He did a couple warm-ups and then one set. His calf raise machine at his gym had a stack of 900 pounds. Anth Bales now has that at his gym. Giles was showing me. But that's it, guys. I'm going to go away. All right, well, that is going to do it. That was my recap of the judging for the Toronto Pro Super Show. Right now, it is definitely between Regan Grimes and Sassan Heirati for the win. Regan's already got his Olympia qualification by virtue of the Cali Pro win 2 weeks ago. Sassan has missed it 3 times already. Second place to William Bonac, Andrew Jacked, and then Regan. So I'm just the guy that roots for the underdog. I'd love to see Sassan take it. So let's see what happens. I'll be back in a couple hours. Leave your notifications on, and you'll know when we're on. Thank you all so much for watching. Go get something to eat, guys. I know I'm going to. Peace out. Bye-bye.